quick synopsis about what we can kind of expect. So you're taking those minions, you're feeding it to that incinerator. As soon as you hit a certain threshold, you then have the incinerator change position, and then you get to feed that incinerator a lot quicker.
So you have the kind of the mid-level, the center of the map grinders, and at 200 points, those shut down, and it pushes you to the back end. You know, it changes the phase of the map. And then now with Meltdown Finale, you have even kind of either the second main phase or the third, depending on how you want to call it. But you go to the finale stage where all the minion spawns stop, and we only spawn the big ultra minions, which go down there. And if those, they don't give you points. If you get an ultra minion through a gate, you just win. It just happens. So first ultra minion through. So you'll see in the finale phase, and you'll probably see a lot more of this in this. I bet we're going to see a lot closer finale phase. And we're going to see a lot more fighting on that. You'll really see some dominance of probably slowing and CC make a big difference and keeping some of the ultra minions slowed a little bit more, held in the place a little bit more. A Galt hook is really big for that, pulling them back. So you can pull them out of position. You can drill them down before they get through the gate and in the match.
So we're seeing a common ban here with Boulder. This is one of the more banned characters when it comes to Meltdown. And then I believe
Alani over there. Yeah, again, super effective burst healer who also has a really great control can bubble the opponent in the air. Alani is a good one. Arindia, a really safe ban right there, does a lot of damage. And Beatrix, of course, we've talked about her.
So one of the so we're going to get into the picking phase now. So let's talk a little bit about team composition when it comes to this as well. So, of course, you want to see some CC and whatnot kind of help out when it comes to the team fights, but is there any popular picks that you see specifically for Meltdown?
Galt will remain popular. Thorn didn't get banned, so I would expect her to come out possibly in first phase here as the second pick, or in the second and third pick for the blue team. Otherwise, you know, okay. Or they're going to do the Montana Miko, which seems to be very popular all of a sudden. But yeah, Caldarius, there's another one. We brought up last night, you know, a very strong all-arounder. The blind grenade does some damage, has the bleed, and blinds actually last extremely long on minions. And they'll just sit there dead still, flailing around, don't hurt the opposing minions, don't do anything. So it's really useful, even if he doesn't do the best damage to minions with that grenade, he holds them in place for ages so that, you know, someone else can go in and mop them up if they want to.
So we're coming towards the tail end of the picks here, and things are kind of rounding out. For remaining two picks, Jithra, do you have any expectations?
Well, again, there's a Pendle, so we're going. Wow, they're going to dip down double into stealth on that team over there. Deandy, who has ability to create a hollow twin and then stealth around and all that, and Pendles, like you said, we'd probably see some Pendles in Cold Snap before the day was over. And sure enough, there's one. So that's going to be exciting. It's actually going to be really good on that because I think teams of kind of more equal skill level, it's going to be a lot harder to shut Pendles down. You know, you're going to see him be very effective. We might see him be an outlier in damage on this with these teams. Then again, you've got a Wrath. Wrath's pretty interesting in that. I'm still surprised that we haven't seen. Again, we have a marquee on one team over here. You know, a lot of range for a map that has some enclosed areas. If I was going to play a marquee with that, I would definitely do a lot more with his time distortion bubble. I would do a lot more damage and control on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the weaker maps for Marquis. There's a lot of tight sight lines. He can't quite, you know, Paradise has some pretty loony shots he can make. He can actually take out one of the Thumpers at the very, I mean, basically 5 seconds after the match starts, he can take out one of your Thumpers, which is, you know, a little brutal, but not the best map for him. I will say this is definitely, you know, we're seeing a different approach to the game here. You know, I would have expected, you know, with Kelvin, Thorn, and Galt making it through bans, we'd see all of them, and we saw none of them. So, you know, again, this is going to be, you know, these two teams definitely have a different approach compared to what we've seen from Lost Heroes and Dunk Squad, are kind of favorites here. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this. I will say, brought up the Caldarius blind being a factor for dealing with Miko, but Galilea is also one of the better wounders in the game, and her silence on the activation of Desecration can also screw with Pendles and Deandy pretty hard because it stops them from using their stealth to escape. Pendles, one of the ways you can get to stealth besides just getting on a line of sight for a second or two is tossing a smoke bomb on the ground, but once you're silenced, nothing to do. You
Yep.
can't do that.
Yeah.
So not sure if those two were the best pick into Galilei. I think Galilei in particular will eat them up.
Jithri, any last thoughts before, about the team composition or anything that you're expecting?
Well, I kind of agree with what Skellion said. I think our blue team here has made some really smart picks. You know, Marquis is a little bit odd, but Caldarius has a lot of mobility. He can get up and down this map. Not bad. Again, really good at like, you know, helping the minion waves and all that. Ernest, a really great pusher, wave clear, can be devastating everywhere. Depends on how the skills used. Playing Ernest a little bit into Econ, okay, and you know, gonna make him a little bit more support. Actually playing double, it looks like double Econ here with Ernest and Wrath both running cooldown and shard, or build cost reduction and shard generators. Okay, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's interesting to see conversely that Zodiac's opted for one Econ player, and you know we said that a couple times for people who maybe are just tuning in. We say Econ, it means they're using a free shard generator and a free wrench, which means they're very good at doing buildables, and they'll probably be the main person doing buildables. But Zodiac still opting for a lot of free gear. It looks like over half the gear, I want to say, you know, just taking a look at it is free. So definitely a different approach. I don't know what to say about that.
That felt a little prearranged.
A little bit.
That's great. So both teams going up into the very center point of the Meltdown cold stack match to face off and shake hands and say hi. I gotta say that's pretty good sportsmanship to begin a match with. That's an interesting way. I will admit I have never seen that before. That
Yes.
was really good. That was a neat new thing. And now we're getting back into the game, mixing it up. It looks like, what do we have here? Project Zodiac on the orange side here, really going heavy on this lane.
Yeah, I mean, there's a nice little digital handshake there, but it does look like we're seeing the teams kind of both doing the similar strategy of going heavy on one lane and then, you know, doing like kind of like 4-in-1 strategy, which a little bit of an older strategy kind of on PC that, and on this map, you know, can be somewhat useful just because it can be a little harder to rotate. So definitely a different approach. You know, maybe I would say doing kind of a 4-1 doesn't always work out very well because it's very exploitable to good rotation. But if both teams are doing it, you know.
Well, and I think Nocturnal Gaming is getting a little bit of an advantage. You see 4 of their characters already moving up to level 2, getting a early level advantage over Project Zodiac. That could be on the 4-1 strategy. It could be pretty devastating early on. Project Zodiac's going to have to look at that. They're going to have to be sure that they're still working the minion. It's also converted into Nocturnal Gaming, has gotten minions through gates. They're already at 83-0 scored deficit right there. It's definitely not too early not enough time has passed to really make a definitive call whether that's going to be the way the game progresses. There's a lot of opportunity for comeback, especially in the first few levels. But Project Zodiac really needs to shape up here and work some team play together.
Yeah, I mean, especially a factor when once you get past the first grinders, even if you're having a very good first 200 points, it's possible you start to get bogged down a little bit, and the other team naturally is just going to have an easier time scoring since they need to go, you know, half the distance you do.
2-on-1 against the Miko here, not going to have a hard time. Again, Miko got stuck kind of there in the grinder. Probably would have been smarter to backpedal, especially knowing that the Montana was responding coming back. That Miko really wants to stay in a pocket behind the Montana. If you're going to do the Miko-Montana combo, you really want the Miko to be back there using Montana as cover because you can compensate for all the damage that Montana is absorbing through big bursty heals. And then the Montana staying out in front, aggressing without the Miko there. Again, a really surprising engagement on that because early on, Montana is he's still beefy, but he's not as beefy as he's going to be later in the game. He really needs a supporter or healer behind him to convert that into a play, and just not doing that very well.
Yeah, NocTurnal now opting for what seems to be a pretty heavy roam strategy running. They had that Wrath Caldarius running around together just trying to find picks. See if they keep opting to do that, just, you know, hunting for kills, trying to split up Zodiac. But right now it's working out pretty well. Looks like they'll be stretching this to maybe about 160, 170 point lead. And actually just with the now elite bots fighting in this lane, although it looks like NocTurnal getting the better part of this, they're much closer to turning in.
Yeah, they're going to fight it off, and that elite bot running right in there. Again, the way those work now, they used to face off. I think now in Meltdown they actually cross paths with each other. While they'll snipe each other as they're passing, they really prioritize getting to the gate and really want to do that. It's one of the reasons I think, like you'll watch Dunk Squad, you've watched all those teams today on Meltdown, really get on those super minions rather, the super minions to get them and really prioritize on keeping those up and getting them there. A couple of Shepherd minions fighting off there in the middle. Toby having a shield there that's going to cause a little bit of a distraction. It's going to prevent a little bit of the easy run through from lane to lane in there. Probably had a sniper position up there early on, but he's moved down now. Backfighting with Montana and Wrath. And of course, got the Miko Montana combo going on there. They've got that back up. Wrath trying to flank, but Wrath really staying on the Montana. I think he's going to flank and put himself in that position. It might have been a little bit smarter to go in and try to peel off that Miko to get a knock up and stop the healing, because that would have given his other teammates a chance to either focus the Montana or focus the Miko and pull that pair apart.
Yeah, it looked like there's just a little bit of doubt or confusion coming in from NocTurnal there. They had the numbers advantage briefly there and were even pretty much in melee range of Miko, but it seemed like they weren't quite sure how they wanted to engage the fight, and it dissipated before they could actually translate into anything.
So here we're watching the Pendles kind of move through the field, getting healed a little bit as Miko as he runs through, and then of course stealthing as he runs back out of sight from the enemies. Running around the backfield, I don't know that we've seen him do anything yet, but hopefully we want to see Pendles really do what Pendles does well. Skulk around, turn a corner, get to a place. Man, if I was that Pendles player, especially on a Project Zodiac right now, I would be shutting down like the Marquee. That's an easy target for a Pendles in the back, unless Marquee has taken the visibility on the Owls, which is actually one of the most effective counters for Pendles' visibility on the map. So maybe that's, I haven't paid close attention, maybe that's what's going on, and we're seeing him really shut that down. So
yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I almost expected they might have grabbed Whiskey as well when they saw the double stealth coming out, you know, two good revealers, but no, Marquee definitely up there among that. I mean, you used to have that bug a while ago where the Owls saw everything in stealth.
Everything.
No, that was just, you know, a good counter. You know, Galilea, you know, we said this is a subtle counter there, just being able to stop the instant stealth activation, but can't really stop them if they're coming in already stealthed up.
Looks like NocTurnal has managed to hit their first milestone, getting that 200 mark. And now that seems like that's the early advantage and kind of set the tone for the game so far. It seems like NocTurnal has been successful at finding smart engagements, finding the 2v1s, finding those advantageous positions. And it seems like it's paying off for them quite nicely, considering we're not seeing Project Zodiac on the board with many kills.
In fact, I think Project Zodiac just got their first kill on Ernest.
Yeah, they just got their first two on the board, so...
Two? Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, I mean, this is something you see pretty often, you know, in competitive and pub matches. Just teams sometimes, they lose their footing off the bat, and then it takes, you know, a little bit to kind of pick themselves up and figure out how they want to approach the game. So now we're seeing, you know, the gap's still pretty large, but they are getting themselves on the board now up at 100. Plenty of time left, you know, a little over 12 minutes before we go into the finale. So definitely a lot of game left to play. It's nowhere near called yet.
Yeah. And Project Zodiac, again, have made up quite a bit of difference now. It's only it's not a 200-point game, it's a 100-point game. They have a closer gate to get their minions to, so they have some more opportunity to do that. But NocTurnal really giving them fits here. Again, a D&D goes down there. Yeah, a D&D is down on their team by Caldaria. So again, really great play. Harassment moving around. Pendles trying to take out the Galilei. Galilei with a good stun, but the Pendles turning around, getting a kill, and then getting mopped up by Caldarius, who came in at the last minute to support. I think Caldarius now correctly basing back to recover some health and get back in there and return to harassment. But a little turnover there in that, and you see that affect the score a little bit.
The Caldarius, they're actually taunted and then got finished by Toby.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was doing his return to base, but no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, that
Look at that. I see it.
Interesting call, I think, but you know, you got to get the taunt in there. You know, it's the psychological factor in the game. And it does look like we'll see. Yeah, they're now closing that gap again, back down to about an 80-point lead. So, and saying that, yeah, I mean, they got 5 kills just in the last minute or two after having 0, so they're figuring something out and got plenty of time to put themselves in the driver's seat here.
Yep. Look at that. Caldera's following that Miko around, trying to harass and get the closeout and the kill so little. Miko is just trying to turn that every corner and all that. Going to be a really rough run on that. Don't know what's going to happen there, but Miko, oh, couldn't turn it around. Got pinned in between them. Caldera's finishes it. Pendles in to try to do something there, but oh, not a really great engagement for him. He's in the middle of a minion wave, in the middle of two opposing players, and a super minion.
Yeah, we saw that communication breakdown there. Miko running for his life. Pendles walked by that chase like twice and was just off doing his own thing. Didn't seem to be particularly concerned. He does have a little bit of slow in his kit if he wants it, so could have helped his teammate out there. And now it looks like, I guess that is the real Deande who's getting very low. Even the spectator, the decoy shows up as a real one. So I've seen a few people, myself included, who have been like, "Oh, that Deande is going in really hard," and it's like, "Oh, no, that's
that's the Hollow Twin, right?" So tier three thumpers up in the back there. It's not a bad move from Project Zodiac. Again, just to keep the slowdown, the scoring of NocTurnal Gaming into that last gate. Keeping those kind of up and maintained, that's pretty good. But they're really slow on getting their own minions through. They're still not effectively getting a push through there. NocTurnal Gaming doing a good job of slowing down that push, keeping it from coming through. And you're seeing, again, just inching up and inching up. NocTurnal Gaming adding a few points here and there, creeping toward that 400.
Yeah, but that was an unfortunate little misplay there coming in from Zodiac. Deande got a solo ultimate on a Marquis, which does a ton of damage on top of the CC, but Toby was clearly focused in on something else and not ready to help his teammate. And it looks like Deande will actually end up going, I think, the bot just got the kill credit there, technically. So that's a little unfortunate.
So Toby trying to go in and clean up this super minion. Okay, and he's going to ult on him and try to finish that out. A lot of damage on a single target. Is going to get that in with the minion wave and the Thumper turret. Help Toby keep that from coming through and adding a big level of score right there. Back to the other lane, Montana and Miko still really working. But it looks like NocTurnal Game is figuring this out. Miko getting heavily focused, pulled off, and now Montana in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it does look like we will have a smashdown coming in that's going to get that finish. Well played from Caldarius, and Pendles not able to do much. He looks like he took a hit from that Caldarius ultimate as well. I think he was trying to go in and find something to help his teammates, but wasn't quite expecting that hit.
Yeah, that was actually a tremendously good play from Caldarius, who both separated and picked off the Miko, and then used his ultimate to finish off the Montana after some other focus from that. Got the double kill, picked up the double kill out of that. Really nice play there.
And saying that on the kills, it did look like Zodiac was finding something, but now they're back. They've only gotten one kill in the last about 4 minutes, so as quickly as they found something, it looks like they might have lost it now, the lead being extended to over 100 points again. And right now it looks like Galilea trying to go against this Miko Montana combo and just gonna walk away. I'm not sure. Miko looked like he did drop the Spore Bomb, but I'm not sure. It just didn't look like it was doing too much effective slowing. I think they might have just slightly screwed up their CC there. Galilea definitely could have been picked off there, especially at that range with a minigun, doing more than enough damage.
And Montana not only getting healed with Miko, but sitting right next to his healing station. So, man, that would be really, it's going to take a lot more than just a Galilea to get Montana dislodged from that point. Pretty good defensive point there. Again, they've really slowed down NocTurnal Gaming, but they haven't stopped them. NocTurnal Gaming is still able to get some of the minions through, or at this point, they can even make up that 400 with kills if they start really focusing and turning into team kill. Marquis gonna slow down and reveal Pendles there. And a Wrath going to Dreadwind through that to try to take down that super minion. Going to do a lot of damage to it, but he's still, a great knockback. Galilea using her a Desecration pull to move that minion back and keep it right out of the scoring potential, but still working there.
A really good play here from Deande, getting multiple people stunned, but again, Toby just, there's quite a bit of windup. He just didn't look to be ready for it. Easy time they could have killed Wrath right there. While his, head's down, he's stunned. Line up a few criticals, but just a big lack of cohesion coming in from NocTurnal. They're getting some some okay individual plays, but just really nothing together as a team.
This would be another big play right here. Getting distracted a little bit. That was not a bad move on Caldarius and Ernest. They've actually managed to pull the super minion up out of lane and kept him out of the gate and fighting with that. And that's going to be enough to hold him up there until he dies. So really good play again by NocTurnal Gaming. That would have been a really important super minion for Project Zodiac to get through, who are now working on their back gates. So it's evened out, and that's where you saw they had a little bit of advantage in making up that score in the middle of the match. But now that both teams are going to the back gate, you're seeing NocTurnal again, I think, turn that to a little bit more advantage.
And it does look like we could be seeing, I think, if my math is correct, this is enough of a push here to put us into the finale. If none of these get killed, which the Thumper Bot really does not do enough damage to kill him. It'll slow him down and annoy him pretty heavily, but yeah. These last few minions here, this will be enough. It should be putting us into the finale with a solid advantage for NocTurnal.
There we go. That's going to end up being about a version 3 or version 4 Ultra Minion advantage here as we go into the finale stage. Not as lopsided as we've seen early on, but still a pretty decided advantage going in here with Ultra Minions. Without Galt or some of the other pull or control characters, yeah, version 3 Ultra Minion going in. And what are they going to need to do to hold this off? They're going to really need to focus that damage. We're going to need to see that Toby, who's almost dead. This is really bad for him.
Yeah, him going down there is a huge issue. If he'd been set up with his shield and ready to, just do his damage, get the setup he wanted, he could probably solo one, but now him on the deck, they're still moving in, so it's not like he's not going to get any chance to do damage. But I think they really wanted him up in this kind of perch right here, ready to shoot the second it came into line of sight.
Yeah, that's what I would have called too. Instead, they're Deandy's kind of fighting a war of attrition back. Now she's getting caught between Caldarius and Galilea, and unfortunately, it's going to go down right there, which is going to be a really devastating play. That may have been the game winner play right there, taking down that. Toby again trying to get something in there, but 3v1 taken out, and the Ultra Bot is going to go right in there. That's going to give NocTurnal Gaming the first win in this round.
Fantastic work from NocTurnal Gaming, winning our first game of Meltdown here. It seemed like at the very beginning they had a strong tempo that came out of the gate as well. They had great 2v1s, they had great positioning, and they continued to use that and capitalize on it and push that victory right ahead. And they're going to take that first game over Project Zodiac. But honestly, towards the middle, we started to see Project Zodiac start to find their swing, find their tempo, find their groove, and continue to try to push back, but it didn't seem like it was enough. And it's just exactly like you said, Skellion. As quickly as they found it, it was lost again. But what was it? What was the thing that they found? What was that one moment that you felt like that was the pivotal point and that kind of put them in that groove?
It's hard to say. I think it was just, and this is maybe being a little mean, but I think just some of the kind of accidentally finding the right synergy. It seems like they're struggling a lot just with, actually being on the same page in terms of who they want to kill, when they want to go. We are seeing times where CC would get put on, 2 or 3 people, and, and granted, we saw Dunk Squad and Lost Heroes having issues with this too, is just, be like 3 targets and everyone takes one, and then they all walk away because, in the duration of a CC in Battleborn, there's very few characters, and only in certain situations you could really just annihilate someone from full health in the span of a CC. I'd say maybe like Pillar Stormer Rendy and maybe Toby and Thorn. I mean, would you? If
you have someone CC'd and then can be critted, I mean, Toby either firing through the shield if in certain situations. Ernest, depending on what you're doing, depending on what he's done with his, does he have his egg up? Does he have some attack speed benefit? And again, what you really look for is the synergies there. Like, imagine a Toby that has a Beatrix attack speed buff running on her, maybe with an Ernest egg also there. There's some crazy things you can do to, we watched last night as Dr. Ho-Ho got his El Dragon buffed to the point that it broke the animation system with his punches. There's some places like that where you can do some crazy combos to do that. But single targets, yeah, Toby would be devastating. A Thorn would be one especially if she blighted and volleyed. Thorn's volley. I remember we used to watch one of the first great Thorn players. We would watch would take Wrath on 1v1, one of the great gearboxers, and Wrath would come in dreadwinding, and we would watch the Thorn jump over it, go to volley fire with a 7-arrow volley, and wait till the last moment and put all arrows down into Wrath's head on his crit spot in a volley fire, and drop Wrath in the middle of his ultimate from near full health to dead on that. Really, really high skill play. You can see that. Those are the types of things you could pull off. So Thorn could, but Arendi Pillar Storm, yeah, we're going to have to, Pillar Storm's one of those things. Probably Pillar Storm is going to get a little bit of attention soon. We're looking at some things to probably reduce the AoE of the individual pillars so you get less overlap on there. It'll still be devastating, but maybe not one-shot devastating. Arendi probably is going to get a little bit of correction to her attack damage as well. With the with the winter update, we brought in Arendi's we increased Arendi's projectile speed and her attack speed, and you now have we replaced her turning nullify into a nullify in the direction you're moving, the let's bounce augmentation. That's now an attack speed thing, which makes Arendi's attack speed really devastating. So we probably need to tweak that down. It's one of the reasons you're seeing her banned so much here. Between her skill damage and her attack damage mix, she's just an annihilator.
Yeah, so I mean, for those of you who maybe haven't played Arendi much, or I believe it's a level 12 mutation Pillar Storm, it's kind of the almost an Echo Slam-esque ability for people who play Dota.
Yeah.
Basically, and when you use her ultimate, everyone in a pretty hefty range gets one of her other abilities, Shadowfire Pillar, put under them. So if you happen to have them pretty tightly clustered, you can drop like 2,000-3,000 instantly.
Right, because the Shadowfire pillars are area of effect damages start to have their areas overlap. And depending on how things are clustered, you can have 2 or 3 overlap at the same time, which just compounds into crazy stuff. And depending on where you're standing, it's triggered off the ultimate, which is Paradigm Shift, which is already one of the highest firing ultimates.
So we're going to be getting Incursion on Overgrowth here. Now, last time, we looked at Project Zodiac, and they had some interesting picks, some things that we haven't seen so far in this tournament with 2 stealth kind of heroes. Do you feel like maybe last game that was also something problematic, and maybe that's something they're going to avoid going into this next game, especially considering we're going on into Incursion, where single lane visibility is going to be, everybody's going to be able to have visibility on each other. Maybe there's some picks that are a bit more favored here.
I mean, on Overgrowth, there is, with the stealthers, I probably wouldn't do this, probably not saying they're going to do this, but there is kind of the cheeky strategy. And in particular is a really good map for having a stealther who can kind of just go in behind and screw with the minions before they even get there. And also, you can take out the Thumper early on because there's a back path, which I want D'Andy to be able to go up. I'm not sure, not being a super experienced Pendles player, I'm not sure if he can get up that.
No.
But there's kind of a back path cliffside, and so you'll see some cheeky plays with D'Andy, Benedict, Isaac, who will sneak up there and maybe try to damage a sentry and pop back down. So there's a small chance we might see them try a double stealth. I don't think they will, but
Sure.
But there's a reason you could do it.
So let's see. We're going to get into some bans here. So far, what do we have?
We have a Galilea Boulder coming out, which that would so far Galilea Boulder for one team and Alani for the other. Nothing too crazy. Arendi, it's interesting on PC. I don't think there's some respect banning for certain people, but it's not commonly seen by Dunk Squad and some of the other PC guys as something you'd want to ban. It's a solid pick. I think on console there's just a lot more people who like Arendi. I mean, even early on, that was one of those things. PC was always like, Arendi's average, and console's like, no, she's really good. So I think she's always been a console favorite.
G3, any favorites that you're looking for?
Certainly, again, we're on the Incursion mode, which has a lot more kind of choke point to it on a single lane. So you're going to see a lot more team fights. You're going to see a lot more of that. Ernest is certainly a solid early pick on that because he has a lot of ability to damage a lot of targets that are clustered together. Wrath is another example of that. Again, we've got the Montana Miko pick over here. I'm a Montana player. Montana's my in order, I play Arendi and then Montana. I've always been an Arendi PC player, so screw you, Skelly, and I like Arendi very much. I think she's just fine wherever she plays. But I've definitely heard the same things that you've heard on that. I like Arendi. I like Montana. Incursion maps, again, I was talking about it earlier. The Montana Miko pick works really well here. Isaac is actually one of my favorites on Overgrowth. Isaac can be really, really, really good on Overgrowth, but I don't know that I would have taken Isaac with Montana. You kind of want one of two of the big guys, because typically what they do is they're going to sit back in the pocket near where their first sentry is, and they're going to shoot through. They're going to try to control the minions. What do we...
We just saw Oscar Mike, which we brought him up last night, and I was saying that he'd probably only come in if there's just a lack of range left. But we do see him. We did briefly bring it up, but love. Okay. Jithri's facial animation, I think, mirrored my opinion on that.
He's so pumped.
Yeah, silently screaming. Let's go with that. This is definitely a surprise. It's even more of a surprise without really a super good pocket support. Although I was going to say one thing we could be seeing here is they do have Beatrix and Ernest.
Yeah.
The double attack speed, and in particular Beatrix with Atticus can kind of play a similar role to Eldragon and being kind of this melee hyper carry. So having the ability to give him a ton of attack speed and then the lifesteal and the little damage aura, he could be pretty devastating.
Atticus is one of the, again, he's a defender. He's a big, tanky, beefy character. He's the demon character looking back there. Atticus has one of the highest potentials for lifesteal in the game, meaning that when he does damage with his punching, it's very much a melee brawler type of thing with a leap. So he can get it in and out with his leap. But you see a lot of lifesteal with him. Beatrix can actually notch that up even to higher levels. So this could be, if we're seeing... might be seeing a really smart play for some of this level. If you find that, you're talking about combos and looking for, that's what I would really look for in this. Of course, another really interesting combo is to take Oscar Mike, who has that massive assault rifle there, and Beatrix and Ernest stacking on either Ernest can actually do reload, which makes Oscar Mike better, and both Ernest and Beatrix can do attack speed on him, which can actually help him pour out a lot more damage in a faster range. So I don't know, maybe you're going to see some of that going on here. Some big guys. Other team kind of a little beefier than I would have taken. I wouldn't have taken Isaac and Montana together, but Isaac's a solid pick here. Montana Miko combo is a solid pick here. We'll see what goes on. Caldera's, of course, a solid harasser, up and down, a good move there. And then Deandy, maybe we're going to see some of that backfield minion harassment play again, like you're talking. Taking a character that can jump over and up that little ledge and take the back lane and get back there and take down turrets and all that. That would be a good use of stealth from Project Zodiac.
And we'll just taking a brief look at the gear here. Interesting to see both teams opting for some rather cheap setups. And I'm actually seeing two econ setups coming out of NocTurnal, which is a little odd on this map, I'd say. And Incursion in general, econ's not always the best approach. There's less buildables. The big bots aren't quite as impactful. But we're also seeing a lot less kind of purples and blues than we did from Dunk Squad and Lost Heroes when they've been going into Incursion.
Yeah. All right, starting the initial engagement right here. We're going to find out how it's going on. NocTurnal with the early turret. Gonna fight for every little bit of advantage. Already getting Montana with looks like a dash knockback on Atticus there, forcing him out of position, supported by Deandy and Amico. Ooh, Oscar Mike jumping out of there as Isaac gets in there, moving out of place, and then Atticus moving back just to start cleaning up minions. A little bit hurt. He's been a little focused. Of course, he's a big target, has some of the same problems. And he has to use that leap to get out and lose engagement. In fact, he's going to go back and base right now and try to recover some health.
Yeah, and this is the problem I would have expected out of this is, Beatrix can give that lifesteal, but lifesteal doesn't do anything if you're not in hitting stuff. So when he's just kind of sitting there and he's kind of jostling for position, he can really be poked down right now in this comp. They just have no one who can really heal him up. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's even like... Am I imagining that Ernest can even get a hot on his egg? I think he can get a shield on it, can't he? Is that
yeah. Ernest does nothing with healing.
Yeah, so there's really no way to help Atticus when
there
he's
we go. First blood.
trying to get position.
First blood, not surprising. Beatrix on Montana back there, again using sniping and using weight, probably silence to shut down some of his dash and other abilities. A nice pick on there. Wow, and got a big mini wave. This is going to be big right here. Got a big push. Shields down on the sentry. Project Zodiac losing damage on their sentry.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing here, you know, we see a lot of pushes seem to be about the players doing damage, but if you do get the minion wave in there and you'll see the little blade bots start doing their weird thing where they pull their helmet back, that laser tears down the sentry really, really fast if they manage to deploy it.
Yeah, they do. And they got a huge wave in there. It's going to get that first 9 points on there, which is going to give NocTurnal Gaming a good advantage coming right out of the gate there. That was a good early push. And, you know, again, with Incursion, every time you have the opportunity to convert into a push, especially when you're pretty sure you can convert into a push without losing a life on your team, it's a great time to get 1 or 2 or 5 points of damage every time you do that.
Yeah, we saw there, I mean, Atticus did get stunned up, but even Montana point blank with that minigun just, it's a lot of HP to get through. They really need 2 or 3 people hitting Atticus, so they want to focus him down rather than just opting to whittle him down and send him home.
Right. Now Isaac, again, sitting in the pocket, looks like he's really trying to play more of that boulder role. He's trying to play a blocker. He's holding his shield up and trying to defend. Wow, really compromised there. Again, another hit on for Beatrix on Montana. And Oscar Mike finishing out D'Andy in the backfield. So playing for advantage, really a problem. Isaac down now from Beatrix and Miko close to down. NocTurnal Gaming really coming in hot on these guys and pushing really hard.
Yeah, we did see Beatrix go down there, but it seemed like Beatrix is really the driving force right now for the team. I guess we can take a look at the damage done. Yeah, second best damage done, leading on kills, so.
And not surprised to see her trail just a little bit behind Ernest in this type of situation. But those two working together probably, I don't know that I would want to face that.
Yeah, but we do see a little bit of damage coming in now. Zodiac getting themselves on the board here, doing 2 points of damage. Now, we'll see it, you know, the big thing they can do right now with this Miko is if they can get up a siege here, they can just keep the shield from regenerating and slowly, even if it's a point here, a point there, give themselves some form of advantage. But now Atticus in, getting Miko pretty low. Looks like Montana will go down, and now D'Andy Atticus having a little bit of a brawl.
Oh, Atticus on the take down there. I think that was the Hollow Twin that he took down to D'Andy, right? No. Well, Beatrix got the final blow on that, but Atticus did most of the damage on that. So I'm going to call credit for Atticus on that kill, even though the game is going to say Beatrix. She's back, probably using her fulminate to homing snipe these last hits on that. So I don't know what that says about the team play, but they're at least converting into kills, which is good for them this game.
And that's one of those things we're seeing. Maybe people not used to playing against Atticus, but if you're a melee, you do not go toe-to-toe with Atticus. He wins any melee matchup in the game right now.
Yeah, again, because his lifesteal is going to give him a lot more survivability in there in front. He's going to punch, he's going to convert into that. With any amount of healing or support on him, Atticus is really scary.
And so we did, you know, paying attention over there on the main lane, talking about Atticus. We did miss, this is what I was talking about earlier with Isaac, one of those potential strategies with that cliff. It's actually how they were getting in the damage on the sentry there as Isaac was going up the side. We can briefly just show this cliff here. You can go up it and get in and do some sentry damage. And Isaac, you know, a beefy guy, he has a little reflector shield as well, so able to go in solo and actually do something early on where a lot of characters wouldn't be able to.
Speaking of the reflector shield, you see Isaac. Whenever you see Isaac with that yellow color on his shield on that means he's running reflection on his shield. So characters, even the minions and other characters that are shooting projectile weapons are getting damage reflected back at them. A really smart play from Isaac. And one of my favorite things to do is Isaac when I'm really being harassed by an Oscar Mike or a Montana or a Marquis, especially, like you were saying, Marquis and Whiskey, especially with hit scan weapons that have that instant reflect right back to him, can really be discouraging to them as an Isaac to shoot at him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, one little thing though, Ernest is reasonable taking those out. Those panels, he's actually got it's 4 or 5 panels of kind of reflecting shield of their own separate health pool. So if he's hit with any form of AoE, you can actually damage multiple at a time. But it does look like we did see the neutral thralls get grabbed, but you know, unfortunately, when they go in without a minion wave and the enemy teams are ready to do it, they're still not particularly healthy. You know, there are minions. Minions take triple damage from crits instead of, or actually, I guess it's 4 times damage from crits instead of double. So, you know, if you got some decent range damage, you can burn them down pretty fast. Now, it looks like Atticus getting caught out, slowed down. Don't think he's really got any potential to re-engage. In fact, he'll just have to leap away.
But that was a good leap. That was a good use of his ability. He got out. He moved through there. He actually turned the corner. He had just a sliver of health left and was being focused. So pretty good escape play on Atticus.
Yeah, but unfortunately, saying that, let's take a quick look at Atticus. 1 kill, 1 assist. He's just not providing what you want out of kind of a defender, initiator type character. And maybe you could argue, oh, well, he's more like a melee brawler, but, he's in that weird position, he doesn't quite have a solid role for a lot of teams, and it looks like they're struggling to find that.
Right, which is why you see Kelvin banned so many matches a day, because that's probably who you would really, really want in that position. I mean, Kelvin is probably one of the best initiators. Again, he can go in, he can turn into a ball of frost. He can fly through the team. He can stun everyone on that, and then he can turn around, like you said, and the big beefy character can materialize behind the team and then go through, got a ground pound, kill minions. Kelvin's really, really good at that. Atticus is not bad, but he probably needs a little bit more something. Here he's going to get focused down, a big character, taken out pretty quick.
I'm not sure what was going on there. He maybe a little frustration and a lack of ability to find initiation on his part. Dove in when his team was back around the corner, and he was quickly focused down
By all of the enemy team, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there. Not sure if that was just call didn't get followed or if it didn't get called to begin with. And now we will see, it looks like Zodiac managing to move up a little bit, starting to get themselves some positioning on this corner again. Hopefully, it's only about a 9-point game, and actually, as I say that, the shield is starting to go down, so that could change soon. And we will see Atticus managing to get himself a kill on Caldarius, of all people, actually, especially Caldarius with his ult up. Not the easiest guy to take down. If he wants to get away, he frequently can, so well played there.
A good opportunistic strike. Again, one of the things about Battleborn, when we've talked about it a little bit here today, but we talk about how telling the assists stat can be. The assist stat, basically, you're going to get I misspoke earlier. You don't get assists for minions, but anybody who damages or contributes to the killing of a player will get an assist value for it. So multiple teammates can get an assist for a single kill. So that's why you will see the assist numbers go really high, even when the kills and the deaths are reasonable. But what an assist really talk about is how much of that little incidental damage, how much of those little incidental strikes you're contributing to the match there. Battleborn is not a single shot kill game. It's got a little bit longer time to kill. You have to play a little bit more strategically. You really do have to control and focus down to take the characters. It's very intentionally designed to game on that. We're going to take down the sentry right here.
Yeah, and we quickly saw that game turn there, and we did see Atticus finally get to do what he is best at, which is just going hog wild through a team. He ran through, they broke, they ran, and resulted in 4 kills. He maybe didn't do all the damage, but it's just that chaos, especially in a slightly less coordinated team. You've got this extremely beefy guy running down everyone, and they broke under the pressure.
Yeah, he is intimidating. But you definitely want to see, like we were talking about earlier, even retreating, even moving away, getting small incidental hits, small incidental attacks. It really is all about being sure that you use every opportunity to wheel away and to pick away at these players and soften them up with not really an advantage. Man, Ernest really, really, really hurt having to get out of there.
And it looks like Miko's got his ultimate, so they can, maybe not the best positioning, it's going to take it out very quickly. But next time it's up, if he can tuck it in a little more in the corner, he can give him a nice kind of siege base, and they can start trying to get some damage in. They did get the sentry shield to about half, so they're finding something, but now picked off by a well-used Oscar Michael. He's now going to buy that. Atticus dropping his ult. Looks like Miko going to go down. I think Caldarius, I think they're probably out of CC to run this guy down.
Wrath, the knock-up, and is going to finish him off with an easy combo on that. Really great play on Wrath there.
And Isaac now, I don't know what that's about.
Oh!
You don't want to be getting picked off. But nice little dash there, and actually the big bot saving his life there. That huge knockback just sends him away to safety.
Yeah. At this point, Isaac, they've lost position here. He looks like he was trying to base there, but it's going to be a little bit too late. Oh, a late base, and Wrath is going to get with the knock-up and knock down on Isaac and take him out there. Montana coming in, but again, engaging without Miko. Miko getting there late. Try to keep him up. too much focus is not going to do it. And again, you talked about that melee. Atticus getting on hand-to-hand the melee. You don't toe-to-toe with Atticus, especially later game. You're gonna watch Atticus now at level 6, getting some really good play in there, knowing what he's doing, and are coming out with Atticus and the other Thrall down the lane. A big push. This is going to be really, really important. 3 players down on Project Zodiac. A big push coming in from NocTurnal Gaming.
Yeah, it looks like Zodiac here just a little broken. They lost one. Montana comes in, tries to save Isaac. He goes down. Someone else comes to try to save him. They just got staggered out. And, it's that point where you need someone who's got to make the call to just say, hey, we lost that fight, back up. And without it, that's an unfortunate, really well played from Atticus there, leaping away right before he gets knocked up. And, maybe can't take Montana down right now, but at least he's bought himself a little time.
There's an airstrike on the sentry. Again, Isaac moving up and down, trying to keep that upper bunker cleared out, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it. They've fended off that wave, but man, that sentry down to 24 points, a little less than half health, and now they're going to try to. Project Zodiac's got a hard push to try to turn it around and move back down the lane.
Yeah, this is definitely, you could make a comeback here, but this would be pretty amazing. And actually, it looks like a little pick or something coming in there. It looks like it lost a point of damage, although it might have been a minion or something. But Atticus will steal this, grab this Thrall here. So a little bit of something for them, but right now it looks like Zodiac, actually, what is taking this away? I'm not sure. It lost a little bit more HP, but it doesn't look like anything's out here. Oh, this is actually, I'm blind. Beatrix is sitting there in the corner.
And she's now going to have to face off with Deandy, right?
And now, yeah, Caldarius, again, going in close to Atticus. Really not working out well for anyone today. I think Deandy could likely go down here, although just going to be smart jumping around. Not sure why dive kick isn't being deployed. Could help buy some space.
A double kill on Atticus. So again, he's really turned around late game. What's Atticus looking like on this? Well, here we go. Beatrix again facing off, taking a face full of sentry there, but getting a few points in it. Man, 4 members of Project Zodiac down. Atticus again, kind of dominating the boards there.
And it's actually a team wipe there, so looks like the shield has not regenerated yet on the sentry. Beatrix will start doing damage. I think they can all in this if they want to and just finish this off right now. There's really no chance of Zodiac defending this.
12, 11, 10. There we go. Oscar Mike airstriking on it. 6, and the sentry's down even before the scoreboard gets done updating. Wow, really nice end right there. Big burst of damage. And NocTurnal Gaming will take the second match.
NocTurnal Gaming, of course, going to be wrapping up here, and that's going to be the entire set here. In the beginning, seemed like there was a bit of a hotly contested early lead that was trying to constantly shift back and forth, and finally we saw through just solid play and good defense and constantly fighting off Project Zodiac that NocTurnal Gaming took that first initial lead and just continued to ride that wave, and finally just kind of coming towards the end, uncontested there.